Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Still the foot.
You know the thing. Let's spin this one more time, man. Good morning to everyone. It's so good. Let's listen again.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
People deluded,
Come on,
I'm
Ian.
back again.
Hey, I know it's on loop, but that was 3 times too many. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, appreciative to you lot tuned in across YouTube and Twitch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. We've made it to Friday. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's the fact that we're halfway through the year, but we're about to enter a new month in the not too distant future. But the weeks, the days, the hours, they're just not enough, man. They're just going through. Obviously, appreciative to you lot. Hope you've all had a progressive week so far in your personal, private, and professional lives. Hope you're all doing well and safe. Hope you're all healthy and all of those things, people. And all of those things. Again, hit the like button, get 200 likes. We crack on with the transfer news and things like that, people. Again, it's a jam-packed day of content because I'm going to be live now. Then I'm going to have my guy FK of the latte firm. Obviously, I think we're scheduled for 2 p.m. because I think he's got the school run to do. So I'm going to have him for half an hour. Literally, you know, I appreciate him for coming through, but we can't have him for an whole hour. Make sure you check out the latte firm's content. The man, they are sick. So yeah, we're going to be speaking Arsenal on Twitch from 2 to about 2:30. I'm going to stay on and we'll talk about whatever comes out in relation to that. Obviously, Twitch gang, make sure you're there. Make sure you're following on Twitch because unlike YouTube, we can actually, you know, you can have a lot of fun with the content. And there's a David Ornstein video I want to watch with you lot. And then I believe after that, 15 minutes before kickoff, is Italy versus France. France under 19s against Italy. It's under 19s championships, people. So yeah, last group stage games as well. So we might as well watch that. One love to everyone who supports the content. If you was, you know, what was my last stream? Football Manager technically yesterday. So appreciative to you lot for tuning in on that and all of those things, people. 1 second. Let me just come out and come back in. Pause, of course. Pause. But yeah, I'm back again. DJ on time as always. Trust me. Come on. Listen, what I don't make, listen, my tardiness. Listen to any brands out there, anyone that wants to mess with the guy, you know, when it comes to the bands, man's on time. You tell me to get there at 6, I'll be there at 11 a.m. You know the thing, but allow me. I make it up, man. You know, what other YouTuber is out here waffling with you lot for over an hour? I think it's so nice enough to cut up the clips and then do other live streams. I might not be the biggest pause, but I'm therefore the realest. Come on, man. Good morning, Corey, man. Hope everyone's all doing well and safe. Morning. Smash the like button, Twitch gang. I know you might be feeling underappreciated right now, but you're not. And in fact, I don't know what Twitch is on, but I don't even think it's updated the title of my video. It's still talking about Football Manager. So, bish, bash, wash. Hopefully normalcy is restored over there on Twitch. I don't know what it was on there, but hope we're back to where we was, man. Again, title is updated. All right, cool. StreamYard, I'll let you off in it. I'm sending for you for no reason. You did your job, is well it is. Shout out to you for obviously telling me. It is wallet. Huh? Don't know, my guy. Whatever you said, don't know, man. I don't know what you said, but if you're saying anything positive, come on, man. Large up DG, best channel for Arsenal. To be honest, that's my guy. I appreciate that. I don't know about the best, but I definitely have the best supporters in the DG nation and you lot. So yeah, one love to you lot. Again, Boy, every day we're just I can't lie, I don't want to be pessimistic and rain on anyone's parade, people. And I hope we get Raphinha, but I'm pretty sure most Arsenal fans, we expect this to end in heartbreak and him to eventually go to Barcelona or somewhere else. But as I keep saying, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. You know, I think Gappers, this is, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I'm scared if he can score enough goals, but I think he can. And the amount of service that he'll get provided in theory pause from all the Arsenal attackers in theory, if Fabio Vieira gets to develop and play, specifically Martin Odegaard, Smith Rowe, all of these guys, and obviously to go in tandem with Arteta's coaching, he can cook. I think Jesus is needed. I think Arsenal fans, even when we was linked with Tielemans before Jesus links became very aggressive and before this Raphinha business, I do think fans were downplaying Tielemans really and truly. I think that needs to get done. For me, we could get Jesus and Raphinha, and personally, I don't think it's a good window. Don't shoot me without listening to what I'm saying. I just feel obviously that's an amazing, two amazing signings, you know, two quality players, Brazil bias, all of that stuff. But they can have all the ability in the final third as they want. And Jesus can be a great system player as much as he wants. The midfield, until that midfield is addressed, you're not going to see our attackers go to the next level. We're not going to defend better as a side. Don't get it twisted. The whole team needs to do more in terms of the final third and obviously collectively defending. As I always say, assuming Jesus signed for Arsenal Football Club is going to play through the middle, that's our first defender. Ramsdale is our first attacker, and I don't feel we've quite got there yet and understanding that consistently to go with the obvious. Again, the midfield, I like the links. You know, I would say, Edu, you as a midfielder, Arteta, you as a midfielder. The one place I shouldn't see any sort of question mark should be midfield. Really and truly, and I still think there is a lot of question marks. You know, shout out to Company for getting a job. We'll get into it, but Daniel Ballard's allegedly going to Burnley. There's rumours of Lokonga obviously going out on loan. I wouldn't sanction that unless a second midfielder, assuming Tielemans and specifically another number 6 arrives at the club. I do think we'll see a better Lokonga next season, and with it being a World Cup here, you're going to get called up for the World Cup playing in the Championship. I don't know. A couple Welsh brothers will. I'm not too sure if that's the same for the Belgium lads. Obviously, his old manager Company's there. There's a lot he could learn, similar to Daniel Ballard, obviously going over there as well, people. I think we'll see a better Lokonga. He's obviously going to get the group stage games in the Europa League. When the FA Cup and League Cup, that's him, you know, probably come off the bench. But I just think there's a lot of question marks. As much as I believe in Lokonga, and I think, you know, I'm confident with him because I think he's got the ability. I just think he needs to, his mentality, not that he's not professional. I just think sometimes he's looked sorry for himself. He's looked overawed. There was a stage in the season where you almost didn't want him to come on, respectfully, because he looked to shadow his former self. He looked so unconfident. He looked like he couldn't make a 5-yard pass. I think he'll get over that. I think we'll see a better. I'm not saying he's going to be the player of the year for us, but I think we'll see a better one. But I don't know that. You know, shout out to El Nene. Obviously, when El Nene got his chance, he reminded people of what he could offer. But obviously, you know, we've been through this already. I don't know if El Nene's 30 beyond the 4 or 5 games. I don't know if I'm going to see a better Lokonga. What you see is what you get with Granit Xhaka, and it wouldn't be an Arsenal transfer window if I haven't really seen tangible rumours. You know, again, there was the Roma links a few weeks ago. There was Leverkusen, but it doesn't seem like there's anything, at least at this moment, of substance. But there is also that. And obviously with Partey, the ability is not in question. He did well in a partnership for the large part when he was available with Granit Xhaka. Our season fell off when Partey got injured, amongst other things. Obviously, there was a second as a lone 6. He was bossing it. But fundamentally, with Partey, it's a bit like what we're seeing at the moment with Tomiyasu and historically with Tierney is quality players make our team better. You know, the nucleus of our team make our team stronger, but you don't know if they're going to be fit for the duration of the season. At least 30 Premier League games out of the 38. So there's a lot of question marks in midfield. I think Fabio Vieira, as we spoke about yesterday, could be developed to players that left centre mid. I think Odegaard long term can do that, even though right now they're probably most comfortable in the 10 and within the final third. But there's a lot of question marks. I think we're starting to see our final third players, excluding the central base players, we're seeing it all add up now. If we get Jesus, you know, you've got Martinelli, you've got Smith Rowe, you've got Odegaard, Vieira's coming to the mix. Can't forget Bukayo Saka. Whether Pepe goes or stays, whether Raphinha arrives at the club or doesn't, one of them is going to be there, and maybe someone else. You know, there's these little things. We don't know what's happening with Nelson and these sort of things as well. Defense, I still don't think we're all the way there yet, but provided Tierney and Tomiyasu are fit and the options of Gabriel, Ben White, obviously Saliba to come back, where we need some confirmation over that, but he's expected to return if we get Lisandro Martinez. I know a lot of people are hot on the case of Ramsdale. I do think there's a lot he needs to improve. I do think he's not all the way there yet, but I like Ramsdale. I think he's calm for now. But I just feel, yeah, man, the midfield is where I look at even the partnerships. You know, Xhaka was decent for the large part of last season. Partey went fit. Together, they did all right, but it's hit and miss across a 38-game period. In your hearts, you know there's going to be 5 good games, 10 bad games, 10 good games, 10 bad games, 5 indifferent ones, and so on and so forth. It's just hot and cold. I don't know if you can bet on that. And you could argue in present-day football, midfield's never been more important, folks, because, again, the strikers are going to win the games, the defenders are going to make the tackles and get the clean sheets, but it's the midfield battles, whether players are dropping into midfield or defenders are stepping up into midfield, whether you've got technicians in there, physically imposing players, a mix and match of the two. I need to know what our midfield is about. I do like Fabio Vieira long-term. I do think he could learn to do all of that sort of stuff. Right now, he's probably does the sort of things Odegaard was doing initially and Smith Rowe, but I'm not prepared to give up on the fact that Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Fabio Vieira should be able to play as 8s long term. Whether they're going to play there all the time is another thing, but I would say, especially out of the 3 names I said, Martin Odegaard, it's not a Santi Cazorla thing, but I genuinely think he could do it, and I do think with that you'd kind of rob him of what he wants to do, probably in the final third, goals and assists, but you'd give the team a lot. Really and truly, sometimes you have to fix things in-house, in my opinion. So we'll have to see what happens there, really. But that's a fantastic way to start things. Thoughts on the market? What should we call that? Vieira, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. Just as we'll have to make that a bit more prettier. But yeah, shout out to you lot, people. Don't forget to take part in the voting. Twitch gang, if one of the mods are there, get the votes going. Feel free. We've got 64 likes. It's a good start, but it's not a great start now, is it? So, yeah, let's keep it going, folks. If we don't get Raphinha, we should have talks ready to start with Zaha. We should get him for less than that, less money for that, I think you're saying. So, yeah, you're right. But it just feels... Listen, I'm a big fan of Zaha. He's got the mentality. He's an Arsenal fan. I don't think he'll have to adapt to the Prem. I think respectfully to Palace, he's one of them players, a bit like Raphinha and just anyone else. When you're playing with other ballers, you're going to look even more like a baller. Pardon me, he could be he's 29. He could be a good option for a couple of years until obviously other players here achieve maturity, or we bring in some other players in the market in the long term. I just feel the Zaha thing's gone, bro. Like it should have happened about 10 years ago. That one there's gone. He signed apologies, people, I'm still here. He signed the death row contract at Crystal Palace, and that's it right now. Probably have to go abroad or something. You can never close the door on it, really, and it's not an age thing, because didn't Jamie, I know he's not the same, but didn't Jamie Vardy come into the scene in terms of the Premier League at 27, 28? So it's not a that thing, but yeah, man, I don't think that. And obviously, how long has Zaha got in his contract? He ain't got long, so this is probably the cheapest, mind you, that you could get him. I just feel for us anyways, that boat has sailed. But if it happened, I wouldn't have an issue. Look at this guy, Jay. You know to time yourself out, man. None of that Murray slander. Is this live? No, bro. This is yesterday's live stream. Zaha, 25 mil, nothing more. Again, yeah. And to be fair, Palace might say, boy, he's got a year or two on his deal. Elise's there. Ize's there. They've signed Malcolm from Derby. It looks like that one is going on. Give him time to develop. They might have some other markets. They might say, all right, cool. But when you've got a talisman, you don't want to get rid of them. And I think Crystal Palace, and you can't put a price on stability. What Zaha has is stability. Maybe the move to United came too early, but he's got stability. He's a key player for them as well. You don't want to let them go. But yeah, man, 25, 30, nothing more really. With Fabio joining, are you worried that Smith Rowe could be third choice behind Odegaard? No, because there's going to be times you're going to be third choice. Again, I know we're not City, but there was times historically Bernardo Silva was on the bench, couldn't buy a game for City, made him put himself on the team sheet. And there's many dons like that, especially with the centre backs in Laporte, Stones and Diaz. Every now and again, one of them goes through, like they're all good, but one of them goes through a real tough, good patch of form, and someone gets dropped, really. I shouldn't be, I do feel Smith Rowe got done a bit dirty with his injuries. His place was gone, but this is the reality of a professional footballer. As much as you got to remember, he's at Arsenal. As much as I love Smith Rowe, and he's an Arsenal man, he's number 10, this, that, and the other. This is the reality of being a big club. You need competition. You need to fight for your spaces. You was there yesterday. Obviously, I think Eddie and Katie said it perfectly. Like, we welcome everyone in and we fight. Just because you come from the academy, you got number 10 now. It's the reality. If you want to get back into the England team, you need to be playing week in, week out for Arsenal. If you want to do that, fight. What I would say is, you're no better or worse than players. Regardless, obviously people are better or whatever, but you're here for a reason. Whether you was bought for 30 odd million or you came through Haaland, you're all in that squad for a reason. You need to believe you're the best player there. And I think Smith Rowe could get a lot of games around. He can play off the left, play as a 10. We spoke about him playing as an 8. Fabio Vieira, we have to give him some time to adapt. Like for me, I think he's a baller. I think he's intelligent. He's what we look for in an Arsenal man. But, you know, he's barely played per se for Porto. He's got a good base, but, you know, he's not the most experienced. Physically, we're going to have to see how he adapts. So I think he's good. And to be honest, there was times where Smith Rowe kept Odegaard out of the team. First half of the season around Derby away. Then there was times Odegaard was the guy. And if I'm completely honest with you, I think Odegaard had a great season, but I feel there was like, you see the 2 international breaks towards the end of the season. The first one, I think his form kind of dropped off from there, really. So there was times he could have come out of the team, you know. And I do think Smith Rowe's got to be like, well, boy, Odegaard ain't dropped 10 goals, in the league. You know, Fabio ain't done that. I'm sorry. I've got England cap in that now. I'm sorry. I can take their place. Like AM is saying, you know, he needs that pressure. And also it eases the pressure on him and Saka and that. Because, as you know, 9 times out of 10, if them lot are not doing it for us, we don't win. And it's testament to Smith Rowe and Saka. But it's also damning on where the club is at. No matter if we're doing this youngster thing, I don't think these young, early 20-year-olds at this moment in Arsenal, they can afford to just be that, really. Like, you look at Liverpool, Curtis Jones obviously want to play ball, but he can afford to, quote unquote, make some mistakes and be a young man. If that can't really happen for us. As much as I think they've justified the faith, and I've got all faith in Smith Rowe, you want to see other Dons do this thing as well, whether that is Gapazis, whether that is Raphinha, whether that is other Dons stepping in into the, and showing what they're on. There's 38 Premier League games. Where, you know, every Arsenal fan and their nan always talks about average age of 20, 22, 23, whatever. So who can really expect these guys to do it for every game? Really and truly. So let's see what happens, man. But you need that. This is Arsenal Football Club. You should always, especially wingers, strikers, cams, bro. They're the match winners. They're the breadwinners. That's what man paid to go and watch. Thierry, Perez, Bergkamp, Vieira in midfield. These are what man always should be looking for. So you should always be trying to upgrade. You know, Phil Foden, I don't think he shook at City. You know, City got all the money in the world. They're buying everyone in the world. But you're doing your thing. You're going to play. Simple as that. I need some headaches at this football club. And for me, listen, Haaland bias. Haaland and the youngster bias. For me, I'll always have a bias towards Martinelli, Saka and Smith Rowe. They can almost do no wrong in my book, rightly or wrongly. We've all got them. Same way Jay's always gassing up Marie. And I thought I was deluded. But you get the point. You deserve that one, Jay, man. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a good one, though. But, you know, if we want to be a competitive team, we need players, man. You know, I know we're nowhere near that, but Liverpool, I know they've lost Mane, but at a point they had Mane, Diaz, Firmino, and bare Dons, really. And Origi as part of the squad, maybe Eddie Nketiah can be our Origi where he can score some vital goals, but we don't necessarily rely on him. I don't know, people. 90 likes, people. Just 110 to go, and then we get into the transfers and that. Shout out the Twitch ones. Keep your opinions coming. This is, again, people, I can't lie. It's going to sound corny, but genuinely, I was sat here smiling. It's a pleasure to be here with you lot, week in, day in, day out, talking football. Is lit. I can't wait for Raphinha to sign. I don't know, man. Would you take Tielemans? Could he make your midfield better? Yeah, in his own way. I'm taking Tielemans. I mean, I'd want Fabian Ruiz the most, but that one's a fallacy. Lokonga shouldn't go on loan, in my opinion. Not a lot of teams can play a lone 6, and with Europa League and other comps, he can grow in confidence into that role that he's learned. I don't think he's ready to play lone 6. I think he's a 6. That's why I could understand with El Nene. Like, as I keep saying, I always advocate for young players. But for those of you that were tuned in last season, especially with the running for top 4, which ultimately we bottled, I could see why. And I was advocating for El Nene to play because obviously there wasn't 10 games. But if there's 10 games and Lokonga has all the potential in the world and that, he might, no disrespect to him, but out of 10 games, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. He might be a bit like when we lost those 3 games in Palace, Southampton and Brighton, and then we beat West Ham United, Manchester United and Chelsea. That's almost what Lokonga is as a sort of player. For 10 games, he might be 20 out of 10 for 2 weeks, -3 out of 10 for the next weeks, couple of 5s, couple of 6s. And obviously, when you factor in the need to win games and things, not that it's just a one-man thing, but you don't know what you're going to get. Where obviously, El Nene at best is going to surprise you, but at worst, obviously, he has dead games, but he's going to give you a 5 out of 10. And if you can get 5 out of 10s for 10 games, and other players do the job, it's calm, really and truly. So I can understand that. That's why, let's be honest, we should have probably brought in a number 6 or let El Nene go. I do think there's a lot of romance beyond as much as the admiration I have for the player. And I feel He's played his way into a new deal, rightly so. We should have probably just brought in another number 6, but it's calm, really and truly. And again, I really think we're going to see a better Lokonga, but I don't know, man. And the thing is, if he goes on loan, I don't even have like I said at the start, if you're not bringing in another midfielder, specifically a 6, then for me, Lokonga does not go out on loan, in my opinion. It don't make. We need bodies. We need to, like I always give the winner example, we need to go into the season having too many jackets and affording ourselves the luxury of taking it off. I think the squad was too thin last season, really and truly. Fire Ray. Big up DG. Happy for that Fabio signing. The guy is talented. Hope he can do what he does at Arsenal and even better. In relation to Raphinha, don't really care if he costs 70 million as long as we get all the players we need. Thing is, Raphinha will definitely be an upgrade on the team. I hear that. Opinions on Ruiz, everything we think Xhaka is, really. The man's a baller, isn't it? There's no more accolades I can give Fabian Ruiz, you know. Right age, you know, mid-20s, getting onto the late ones. Wand of a left foot, Spanish technical ability, lovely passing range, can mash in work defensively, even though he's not known for that. You know, lovely waiter pass, plays with his head up, wants the ball. You know, when you're away from home, him taking a couple extra touches on the ball can get you further up the field. Lovely passing range, short and long, you know, pause. What a player. Like, do you think Xhaka should stay? As I always say, Xhaka isn't someone I would necessarily force out the club. I'd say to him, listen, if you want to leave, you can leave. If a right offer comes in, I think there's people that need to leave before him, disregarding ability. Where it is for Xhaka is that one thing I don't want us to do, whether you rate Xhaka or not, the man starts week in, week out, rightly or wrongly. So we have to accept that as off the field and certainly on it. Whether this is going to dictate if we improve or not, he's a key player. Now, if you remove the name Granit Xhaka and see key player, I see a 29-year-old, which on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that. 29 years of age, always linked with moves away. Bearing in mind, as much as it looks like he's comfortable at Arsenal and fan relations are better, he didn't grow up on Gillespie Road. He didn't grow up in Finsbury Park. He's from Switzerland. I'm sure there's many other adventures in football he'd like to experience. I can't begrudge him for wanting to play under Jose Mourinho, for example. 29, contracted until 2024, same amount of time as Martinelli, Saliba, Bukayo Saka, and Pepe. We know what's going on with Pepe, what's going on with Xhaka. Don't do the typical Arsenal thing in that we wait till these guys are leaving the club for whatever reason to talk about replacing them, like with Aubameyang. Let's be honest, you know, obviously there was a pressing need to sign a striker. We did try to sign a striker last summer, but it only really accelerated because allegedly he couldn't behave himself. You know, we should have. I said it again. You lot can go back on YouTube. I said the day Aubameyang signed that deal, we need to. There was assuming he stayed the whole 3 years. That is our window to be looking for another striker. Okay, this guy's good. We're not going to move for him this year because I don't think he's ready. Next year, let's see what he's on. Really, let's just say we were scouting Darwin Núñez for 3 years. We would have seen him be quite shit at, pardon my French, at Almeria. Now it would have been all the bee's knees, really and truly. Brighton tried to get him last year and for about 25, 35 million. I saw some reports. So yeah. Brighton could have made some money on that one, but it all depends how you look at it, if I'm completely honest. I wouldn't force him out of the team, especially if we're not bringing in midfielders. Yeah, man. Sometimes it takes a new club to trigger new form and confidence. I think Jesus does well. Big up DG, missed the last few streams. Happy to catch this one live and see you back in the Emirates. Shout out yourself ASAP because you ain't missed none. I think you've always been here, but yeah, shout out to you. What do you have for breakfast, DG? Random question. I went Sainsbury's, man. I've had a meal deal, man. Don't judge me. I've had some pasta. I've had some chicken. I've had some mangoes, some apples, some strawberries, some grapes. I've had some peanuts. Pause. I've had a breakfast bar. I've had a smoothie. Had some broccoli, if you know, you know. Yeah, man. So, yeah, that's been the brekkie. 400 of you locked in across Twitch and YouTube. I appreciate you lot. All this talk about price tag, like, does it matter to us fans because we just want signings? It's that simple. I mean, it's not my piece, but it's dangerous, isn't it? And to be honest, Arsenal have been spending money. If spending money was the route to success, we'd be challenging right now, really, because we've spent money. We smashed our transfer record and spent 72 odd million. You know, for example, we bought a 52 million striker. We've been spending bands, 50 million on a centre half that's only played one season when we bought him in the Prem. We've been spending peas. So while I don't really care about the money and we'll have to live with it and whatnot, and it will excite the fans, it is something to speak about and consider. I do kind of agree with where you're alluding to in that the modern day, I feel fans spend too much time waffling about the financial aspects of clubs and attempt to be accountants. 200 likes, we look at the transfer news, folks. We're at 132. We're doing all right. Main reason why Liverpool had to scrap for top 4 in 2020-21 was because their midfield had to play in defence and Thiago was injured. Big up DG. I still want to see Arsenal buy an elite number 6 to play alongside, compete with and cover for Partey. I think we all do, but I think we probably just have to accept it's not a that thing now. You know, it's really it's not a that thing really. If anything happens to Partey, assuming something isn't gone, something has also happened to El Neni and Lokonga. You're probably looking at Odegaard, Fabio, Vieira, maybe Smith Rowe just being bodies into midfield. And maybe if we sign that Lisandro Martinez brother, there's an option with that really. But with El Nene signing a new deal, and it appears rightly so, in my opinion, Lokonga not going on loan. We're not looking for a 6. You never know. But yeah, man. Zaha has 2 years. Do you think Fulham will stay in the Prem? Difficult, man. Probably up against it. I'm not going to cap, especially if they lose key players as well. Like Fabio Carvalho's going to Liverpool. I don't know if Liverpool will say, you know what, go and play a season in the Prem for Fulham, develop, and then come back the following year. I don't know. But if they lose him, Mitrovic, again, he scored a bag of load of goals. Wasn't he one of the highest goal scorers in Europe based on his exploits in the Championship? Have to deploy Championship tax. Is he able to do that? I don't know. Smith Rowe, a Grealish type left winger who should be able to play as a left-sided centre mid when needed. You think Arsenal could set up Barca the way with Partey, Martin Odegaard and Fabio, the way Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta did it? I see what you mean, but the intelligence would have to improve. Like for me, I can't lie. There's some things I think Arteta is trying to do too early, but I do like them. And my best example is one I keep saying. I go back to Brighton at home, where in the thick of it, we were fighting, we was fighting for top 4, which maybe he shouldn't have done it. But he deployed Martin Odegaard and Smith Rowe on the left and right side of centre midfield and Lokonga as the lone 6. Now, for evident reasons, these players haven't developed themselves in their own game to be doing other things. It wasn't going to work. But I do want to see things like that. Things like you said, maybe a reality where you see Odegaard, Fabio, Vieira and Smith Rowe just all on the pitch. Same way if there's certain games, it might not be one for the artists. It might be one for the thugs in the middle. There's away games. It might be El Nene, Partey and Lokonga or 2 of the 3. Same with the attacking options. If you did get Raphinha, you could go for the Brazilians, in assuming Jesus and Raphinha arrive, and Martinelli. Obviously, Saka could be in the mix with many different things you could do. You can't disregard Eddie. If Eddie carries on with how he ended the season, maybe Jesus finds himself on the left and the right, and I'd imagine that that has ramifications for probably Smith Rowe and Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli. I think Saka would start in that eventuality. We need problems, good problems. That's what City has. I do see what we're doing. I think we're going for having a nucleus of strong quote unquote attacking players. So we'll have to see really, but it's an interesting one. Shout out to you lot for tuning in. Don't forget, people, I'm live at 2 p.m. on Twitch. It will be re-uploaded onto YouTube. I might actually just include YouTube, to be fair with you. And then 4:15. And on the topic of YouTube, if I remember correctly, I scheduled some videos to start to come out today as well. This morning, or they should have been out before now, and some should go out after this. What's going on here? Shout out to you lot as well. You lot have been boosting the engagement levels. We're rapidly rising in terms of subscribers, man. I can't even lie, man. Like, what are we at now? 46,861. We're flirting with 50 people. We're flirting. Let's keep up the momentum. Shout out to you lot. Keep the opinions coming. We get to 200. We get to the thingies, man. 50 more likes. Bring up the YouTube members. Appreciate you lot. Does Raphinha's pursuit open Arsenal to losing Saka? I wouldn't necessarily say that. What I would say is it kind of softens the blow if Saka leaves, as much as you could say that. It maybe gives Arsenal more leverage if Saka's trying to have demands and whatnot. But at the same time, there's a lot of talk about what it means for Saka. Surely, if I'm Bukayo Saka or any of these talented players, like if I played for Man City, let's just say Man City had a bunch of championship players, and they tell me they want to win the league, then they start bringing in the players they've got. That's going to gas me, because now I'm around ballers. Surely, if you do sign Jesus, Raphinha, etc., there's no guarantees, definitely for Arsenal, that we can get Champions League. But surely that should tell Bukayo Saka, potentially Saliba and Martinelli, that we're trying to do things. There's ambition. There's things like that. Look, not to use our noisy neighbors from down the lane, but it's like the club saying, Kane, sign a new deal. We're trying to do what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a trophy for Spurs. And now you're seeing Conte come in. You're seeing pursuits for Bastoni and Basuma and all of these guys. Apparently, they've been rejected by Raphinha, Jesus, and they're getting Carrasco and whatnot. Carrasco's a baller, but still, nonetheless, agendas have to agenda. So you get the point. That should, if anything, that should also strengthen potentially keeping Saka. Does that tell Saka to stay. And I mean, even if Saka goes to the teams he's linked with, you think City, Liverpool, even if Saka becomes a 20 and 20 goals, 20 assists man, 20 goals, 20 assists in the league man, you really think Man City and Liverpool are not going to do what Arsenal do and rely on him? He's going to be a part of a what's the word, man? Like a group of sick attacking players. So it should gas him to stay. Really, it's true of us. It was Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, or bust for a lot of the season. Exactly, and the purple patches, like when Eddie was doing all right. When Odegaard was doing all right, when Lacazette was doing all right, we're just doing the flavour of the month thing. Really, Martinelli, Raphinha, I don't know about that, but yeah, man. Trust. What is the current news regarding Jesus Arsenal's move? Watching from Uganda, East Africa. Well, it seems like it's moving, man. Shameful breakfast meals. All right, man. Not every day cornmeal porridge and cheesy beef patties. And to be fair, I had what did I have yesterday? I had pear, avocado, and spice bun. Not every day, man. Not every day, man. Not every day. Xhaka and Tielemans as left eights is great depth. Xhaka will have a good season if we bring in competition. He's a leader. Listen, I like Xhaka. I don't think he's a bad player. My problem is with Xhaka, it's not even with him, is we can't rely on him per se, as in a main sort of guy. We need stronger stuff there, man. Big up DG. Raphinha will give us the old Nasri vibes. I think he's a person who would take the ball in midfield and win us a game just like Nasri. Think people are neglecting the fact that he's a madness waiting to happen. Technically, he knows the middle of the park, but that's the red card zone and loses his head. Saka, he's leaving. I don't know about that. We need to be too deep at every position. Pulled. If we don't have another 6, then don't send Lokonga on loan. I don't understand why we haven't gone for Fabian Ruiz yet. Cultured ball carrier. You know, there's the only thing is if the big boy Spanish teams, if PSG allegedly want him in City, then we're in trouble. But he's got a year. I mean, he might want to. If I was Fabian Ruiz, to be honest, I'd probably run down my deal. I'd stay at Napoli. They're in the champs. There's a World Cup here, and then obviously straight after the World Cup, I can agree and move elsewhere. But I don't know if Napoli and their president's going to go for that. And obviously, it seems like 3 key players could be leaving Napoli, really. And there's rumours of Osimhen. Again, his thing is, are you going to pay the money or not? Fabian Ruiz has a year left on his deal. And every now and again, it seems like even though it stopped, Koulibaly rumours have been, you know, kind of there really and truly in terms of departure. Shout out Mac in the building. Lokonga will benefit massively from Europa League and the learning curve of this year. I would say the things with Lokonga is just, for me, it's just a case of a bit better anticipation, a bit self-belief, a bit better anticipation in the middle of the park, looking over your shoulder a bit more, and just like getting over the culture shock of the Premier League. Like I do think, I look at the Brighton away game, Tomiyasu and Lokonga, they had a serious culture shock. I think that's when they realized, yo, this is what the Premier is like, really and truly. And Tomiyasu obviously went from strength to strength. We're going to get there with Lokonga, but we're not over the hill yet there completely, clearly yet. Question, DG, if you could pick one of Tielemans, Matheus Nunes or Ruiz, who would you sign? Matheus Nunes, what goes against him? I do think he could play as an 8, but for me, I think he'd be better if he, not a 10, but a free role in midfield. Pardon me. I like Tielemans a lot, but I'd say, again, kind of what I said for Fabian Ruiz. It will make man think of every way to improve in and out of football. It's good, to be honest. Oh, in that case, he has played a partial 8, but in most games he was supposed to play as a 10, but he's usually found deeper, hence why we want a better Xhaka replacement. 65 million is too much for Raphinha. For me, I wouldn't do it for more than 55 million plus 8 million add-ons, which should be enough for Leeds to accept. My maths is poor, but then you might as well just give them the bands they want, really. I mean, Gnabry, sir, I would love Gnabry at the carpet, but beyond just his contract and his Arsenal ties, it don't seem like there was any tangible rumours like with Raphinha. Whether we get Raphinha or not, we have bidded, we have started talks. There's been none of that with Gnabry. So, yeah, man. If that's it. I think Raphinha is a good player. He's a good player provided he's surrounded with good players around him. I hear that. Basuma would have been lit, but that one day is gone, man. That one day is gone. Xhaka can't defend, can't run, and is average on the ball. That's harsh. That's very harsh. Being popular with players and a leader shouldn't be enough to play for Arsenal. I agree with that. You know what? It's Xhaka's Marmite, in it. Like you've either, no one's gonna really change their opinion for Xhaka. For me, I think he's underappreciated in some aspects and extremely overrated in others. I don't think he's as good as the Xhaka sexuals make out. I don't think he's as bad. There's not 1-1, but I don't think he's as bad as some of his haters make out. I just think he's a mixed bag. I think he could be a rotation option and things. But yeah, I do think Tielemans needs to improve a lot defensively. We've had a decent season, underwhelming because we're fighting for top 4, and obviously it turned collapse. But yeah, man, it's a mixed bag. Even Arsenal have had better and worse periods defensively this season, but we still finished 5th for clean sheets. So there's something to build upon, but we're not there yet. I mean, Saka could play on the left, Raphinha could play on the right, Raphinha could play on the left, Saka could play on the right. I want them to rotate in that. 50k subs in soon. I hear that. Where are we trying to get to? A title challenge? Then stop signing players that have no chance of ever being good enough to play for teams that aren't challenging for titles. Brace. Fair enough, man. Martinelli is the best player in Arsenal's history. I mean, he's got a long way to go, but if he can get anywhere near a couple of the legends that have walked through these doors, then he'd be all right, man. Appreciate you lot for tuning in. 100% agree with you on Xhaka. He does a job but can let us down. Exactly. But that's what Arsenal do, though. We always, and there's several players last season, we put them in positions of boots they can't fill, like even the young G's them. Shout out to Saka and Smith Rowe and all these guys, but it's a fallacy to expect them to do it for 38 games. I like El Nene, I like Lacazette, but these are flavour of the month dons, Every Arsenal fan, every 5 or so games, the opinion changes. Some Arsenal fans, look in the mirror and you're lying. There was a period some Arsenal fans would have said, give him a new deal, Lacazette. Then they changed it and prepared to talk about working hard. Some fans wouldn't give El Nene the time of day. Then they switched it up. I think Arsenal's biggest problem is we put people in positions of boots inevitably they can't feel like. We'll take decent rotation strikers and try look at them to get our 15, 20 goals. It's never going to happen, really and truly. There's piano players and piano pushers. If nobody pushes the piano into a theatre, then ultimately no one plays the piano and no one pays to go to the theatre. No one makes money. So you can't underestimate the piano pushers. But not everyone can play a piano. Like, word to Chief Keef on 300. If you had to name Xhaka's 3 best and worst attributes, what would you say they are? Oof. Hey, now you put me on the spot. Leadership, I have to. Easy cop out. Leadership. You didn't say on the ball attributes. I'd say leadership. I think he's a decent passer. Overrated, but I think he's a decent passer. He puts in a shift. Occasionally he's going to eat, De Gea's worst nightmare. Smith Rowe's taking over that mantelpiece. Yeah, bro. I'd say that. I played a couple 5-a-side games with a United Academy dropout, and he made it look beyond easy. He completely ran the games. I hear that. I think he's average. I've literally played with man that were better than Xhaka. I can't rate it. You lot are hard. You lot being harsh, man. Fascinated. Big up my guy Charlie. Fascinated to see where Fabio Vieira plays. Got a feeling Arteta's brought him in with the 8 row in mind. I hope so as well. For me, needs to improve physically. I'm not asking man to be able to deadlift, bench press, and 100 kg in that, but I think physically he's going to need to get it. But I think he can play there. What we need to start doing with these players is molding them into roles. Of course, in the present day, you need to be able to play a couple of roles, But we need to start making ODEGAARD. You're a number 10. You can play as an 8. Smith Rowe, you're a 10 by trade or an 8 by trade, able to play out wide. Saka's obviously a winger, can do a job at left back in doomsday settings. I think Gabriel, you need to be a striker able to play out wide. We need to, you look at City, they all known for one thing and they can play other things. Kevin De Bruyne, that man is at 8, can play anywhere in midfield, but he can do a job as a false 9. Even say with young Phil Foden, he plays off the left. Can he even play as a false 9? He's a centre mid. I think in today's day and age, a lot of lines get blurred, especially with like the winger striker types. There's many players, Martial sticks out, Rashford sticks out. Are you striker? Are you winger? You winger? You striker? Slightly, even if we sign Gabriel Jesus, that's the very same question we're asking ourselves. So there's a bit of refinement to be able to need to be done, in my opinion. 38. We need to refine our youngsters. Not Odegaard. Lokonga, apologies, has spoken about I'm an 8 and a 6 now. Hate to break it to you, Lokonga, but unless something mad happens, you could never be an 8. I wanted to be a striker. I ended up at right back, so I think that tells you where that one there ended, did it, people? You're never at 8. Maybe in the cup games, but you're never at 8. Let's mold him into a 6 now. By all means, if you can one day prove me wrong and play as a competent 8, big up you. Tomiyasu, he's clearly a centre back / right back, able to play in either, able to play at left back. That's what we need to do. But sometimes there's certain players that they can't do all of that. You get the Ainsley Maitland-Nileses where Are you a midfielder? Are you right back? Are you right back midfielder? And I'm sure some of you have your own, you know, your own comments and whatnot, really and truly. So it all depends, really. We at 200 likes. It must have cleared that. Let me take one more question and we get into it because a promise is a promise. 207 likes. Let's begin the assault towards 300 people. Large up you lots each and every time. Thank you very much for doing such, man. We will not get the chance to sign Raphinha again if we miss it, so get it done. I don't understand our fans. Callum, you really trying to understand Arsenal fans? You're doing your head in, mate. Arsenal fans. The same Arsenal fans who said we shouldn't buy ODEGAARD because we got Smith Rowe. The same Arsenal fans who are crying about some, again, disclaimer, not all, crying about what happens to Saka if we sign Raphinha, waffled about Saka's burnt out in the season and he needs a break, and Pepe, Arteta don't like Pepe, give him a chance, give him a run of games. Don't try and find logic, my guys. But one thing I would say with the media, if Arsenal don't put the P's down for Raphinha, we're not showing ambition. If we do buy him, we've overspent. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Xhaka is not average. He's a good squad player. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being average. Ray Parlour was average, but he's one of the best. He's one of the, you know, he's one of the most underrated players to have ever played for Arsenal Football Club. And there was a reason he was always there for big games. I know average doesn't sound like bad, and it sounds bad in that, but there's nothing wrong with being average. Some men have to do that. If you can be average, just be reliable, bro. Where that's subjective if that's going to be applied to Granit Xhaka. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Xhaka is average compared to what Arsenal are. For other teams, he'd be show in midfield. He'd be lit in midfield at a couple teams. But respectfully to Xhaka, and I know it's different roles, bro. Man, seen VIERIA, Cesc Fabregas, you know, these sort of, even a young Jack Wilshere, really. Man, seen some real ballers at this foot. Dennis Bergkamp, you know, different sort of roles. Man, seen some real ballers here. That's average to me. And the fact that we overcompensate, not just with him, with a lot of players, shows the standards. You know, if we're honest with ourselves, I love Tomiyasu. He just had to show he could defend. And guys like me will gas it. Ramsdale, there's the jury's still out. Just had to show you could catch a ball. Tierney, just show you could be a competent left back. Eddie, just show you could score some goals. Lacazette, just show you could work hard. The bar's on the floor at this club in a lot of aspects. And it's time to now raise that, if I'm completely honest with you lot. One love to you lot tuned in. But yeah, man, one more question, man. One more. Keep your talking points coming. But yeah, man, I can't lie. I prefer half the fans are trolls who love the entertainment. It's just emotional. I can't lie. I love to talk about the transfer news and that. But I prefer you lot's things. Xhaka is better than anyone in the stream. Facts. I mean, he's hardly groundbreaking. He's a professional footballer, mate. Like, that don't make sense. DG stretching for Xhaka, allow it. I don't stretch for no man. Why for that? Fire for that. But if that's what you do, everyone's free to do that. I don't know about that. But I'm not forcing Xhaka out. I'm trying to upgrade. You should kind of have the El Nene sort of thing, like your rotation done, and that's it. Let's get into the transfer news. But whatever there's nothing wrong with being average. Exactly. That's my thing. Ray Parlour was reliable. You heard me say that. But to be fair, could you say Xhaka is reliable? Because I do think people get onto the guy. I don't think his discipline problems is that. Obviously, people make mistakes. And when Xhaka inevitably makes that mistake, it's done. But for the large part, I think he is a bit more reliable than credit's being given to him. I just think he's in a role that inevitably we're not going to get anywhere if he's playing a major part, as in starting week in, week out there. I like him, though, man. I don't think Xhaka's bad. Do you prefer Raphinha or Anthony? Oof, Brazilian bias. Wrong guy to watch, bro. Oh, well, we're linked with Raphinha. If Raphinha snakes us and doesn't sign for us, then Anthony thing. I can't lie. Anthony looks more of a skillers, you know. There is a tax and that, but he looks more of a skillers. I'll be real. He looks more lit than Raphinha. He looks more slight of build, but he just, I don't know, man. The YouTube highlights make Anthony look serious. I bought him in Football Manager and he was rubbish though. So yeah, I'm gonna say Raphinha. We're not getting Sterling. We might not even get Raphinha, man. I don't know whether you ain't seen Raphinha's completed a medical or anything like that, so none of that could be done. But what do I know? It does let him down, but it's tackling. When's it been? Obviously the City game, but you get the point. Xhaka is solid. Wouldn't quite agree with that. I don't even think he loses his head at times, and I do think refs have an agenda. But you know, his disciplinary record last season weren't bad. Low key. The ball's on the floor, but low-key, Xhaka was one of Arsenal's better players last season. The ball's on the floor, and I'm not saying he was amazing. Let's be real. There was a time where fans were saying we miss Xhaka, and I think that's the biggest problem. Respectfully to Xhaka, I don't think you're good enough that we should be seeing an absence, and that's testament to you, but we shouldn't be seeing that. We should not be seeing that. Man should be saying, "Oh, I miss Odegaard, what's going on there?" And obviously, we've signed a couple guys. Partey, what's going on? I don't think we should ever be saying, "Bloody hell, we could have done with Xhaka today." No disrespect to the guy. That's just on that. He's not that guy. So it is what it is. Fun fact: Xhaka has never actually got sent off from a second yellow for Arsenal. Again, there it is. So yeah, let's look at the transfer rumors now, man. Promise is a promise. Can we get to 300? We're at 230 and some change. Where's my timestamps? Don't forget, you need to be following on Twitch because we're going to continue our Arsenal talks at 2:30 with the latte of firm and that. 2 o'clock. Sorry, don't let me lie. Don't let me lie to you lot, people. Make sure you're doing that. Where's the timestamps? Where's my timestamps? There's my Google Doc sheet. 55. Let's call it 55:30. So yeah, transfer new settings. Let's start with the Athletic because apparently, you know, I mean, Tavares has had offers. He's had offers from Atalanta allegedly. Apparently, Marseille want him now. If Marseille want him, I don't know if that makes sense because you've heard Marseille want him, and again they want to keep Saliba. But apparently, Sao Paulo is considering his future at Marseille. If their manager leaves, now obviously I don't know what's going to happen with Marseille. You know, Sao Paulo is giving young players their chances. Could it be said? Could it actually be said for the next manager who walks in? I don't know, man. Never clickbait in this channel, trust me. So yeah, let's look at 1-2 things. There's Yuri Tielemans, the Athletic article as well. Oh shit, you lot can't even see. Apologies, people. First thing, Marseille want Nuno Tavares on loan now. We sold them Guendouzi on the cheap. You know, we loaned them Saliba. We've got a decent relationship with Marseille. Allegedly, Marseille are keen to sign Nuno Tavares on loan, so it must be over for Kolasinac already. And Arsenal will consider sanctioning his exit if they can manage to recruit in that area. Let's be real, he needs to hit a loan. He's not ready right now. But to be simple as that. For that to happen, Sandro Martinez of Ajax is known to be the priority target, people. So yeah, man, you know, he signed for 8 million. Can he go out on loan and build upon them 28 appearances he made last season and turn himself into a 16 million pound man or something like that? Now, Daniel Ballard, who now everybody knows him, I'm proud of him because I did think he was one of the most underrated young players at all. They make the grade. I think there's too many people ahead of him. There's talk of signing Lisandro Martinez. You've got 50 million pound Ben White, 30 million on Saliba, and the same for Gabriel. But I do think he's going to have a decent future. I do think he'll play Premier League football one day, which if Burnley did well at Blackpool, did well at Millwall, you know, now he's getting a move to Burnley and playing under a defender in company who's their manager, where that's a lot to learn from. £1 million. That's where my problem is because you should be getting a bit. Blackpool loans, you should be at least getting a 10 million and a sell-on clause, maybe even inserting a buyback clause to ensure we can get him back. So yeah, apparently I'm happy he didn't sell him to Millwall because you know them clubs there are not multicultural really. But Burnley closing on Arsenal's Daniel Ballard with clubs in advanced talks. Bearing in mind as well, he is an international footballer now as well for Ireland, Northern Ireland, better yet. Burnley are in advanced talks to sign Daniel Ballard from Arsenal on a permanent deal. Ballard's impressive performances in loan spells with Blackpool and Millwall and for Northern Ireland meant there was interest from a number of clubs. Apparently, company played a critical role in persuading the 22-year-old to choose them. The deal is now in the final stages with Ballard set to undergo a medical. Now, you've seen he's left. Osei Tutu's gone back to Germany and playing for Bochum. You've seen Tyrese, John Jules, Mika Beref, Omar Rekic, Harry Clark all depart on loan. And there probably will be a couple of other loan departures as they, well, can't talk too much, but there will be. And some other players should push. I do like how Arsenal are making quick decisions on their young players. He's set to undergo a medical. The deal was in its final stages. Arsenal intend to insert a clause into the deal which would grant them the opportunity to match future bids from prospective buyers, put on a sell-on clause as well. He's yet to actually make his debut for Arsenal. So, yeah, and he's been capped 15 times by his country, had good loan spells, as I said, in Blackpool in League One and the Championship in Millwall. And, yeah, he's doing what he's doing. And, obviously Burnley have been relegated. Tarkowski and Ben Mee are leaving. There's an opportunity for you to solidify yourself, in the Championship and make and keep the name going and whatnot. So it is what it is, really, in that regards, where that's concerned. That's Daniel Ballard. That's Daniel Ballard, better yet, and Tavares. Chill out, man. We're getting there, bro. Relax. Apparently, Arsenal first refusal when Burnley selling DG. That's good. Make sure you got that and a loan and a sell-on clause. I don't think we should be selling a man for 2 million. Apparently, he's contracted until 2024, based on a report I read, and he's got a year, an option of another year. So I think we could have hustled a bit better. Allegedly 2 million. There's no quotes. Where Tielemans is concerned, Tielemans and Arsenal, no offers for Leicester midfielder as other targets prioritized. It'd be a stretch to call the Yuri Tielemans situation at Leicester a saga. After all, sagas usually involve actual events along the way. However, despite Arsenal calling interest in signing the Belgium international this summer, this hasn't been a story of idle chit-chat and speculation, and there may still be a twist in the tale. While there have been no approaches to Leicester from any club, let alone Arsenal, interested in signing Yuri Tielemans so far this summer, and in the last 3 transfer windows for that matter, since it became known he hadn't signed a contract renewal offer, that doesn't mean Tielemans will definitely be pulling on a new Leicester shirt come their season opener at home to Brentford. Leicester might actually be slightly more confident at the moment that he'll remain at the club, but they won't be complacent. While it is true they do need to make room for new faces and generate extra funds through sales of certain assets in Brendan Rodgers' squad, the idea this season was to refresh and improve the current set of players. The loss of such a key figure as Tielemans, who has played 158 games for the club since arriving on an initial loan from Monaco 3.5 years ago, isn't their ideal scenario, although they are prepared for the likely outcome that he'll move on if an appropriate offer comes in before the 1st of September. Tielemans is ambitious. He and his advisors feel he can play at a higher level than Leicester currently can provide. Ideally, he wants to stay in the Premier League and play in the Champions League, but the 25-year-old isn't unhappy at Leicester, where he has a strong relationship with Rodgers, his teammates, and is well respected by staff. Chelsea, as an Arsenal fan, you'll fit right in. He's 25 years of age. We've known about him since he was 17. Arsenal fans, we was in the Champions League when he played for Anderlecht. I'm taking him at Arsenal, and I think it might happen, you know. Surely the amount of talk we've heard for the last 2-3 windows, his agent has been at London Coley, so maybe we pull it on the back burner and say, let us deal with these things, is what it is. And again, with a World Cup year, you can't put a price on stability. Playing for Leicester, seeing out your deal, playing well for Leicester, having a good World Cup, being a free transfer, that gets you a move to the Premier League in a Premier League team that's offering Champions League football, or that gets you a move abroad and whatnot. So yeah, man, he's been linked with numerous clubs with varying degrees of truth, but there is undoubtedly admiration from within the Arsenal setup for the former Anderlecht man. Other targets appear to be taking priority, however. There have been other areas of the squad that the North Londoners have looked to improve first this summer, although most notably up front with their efforts to bring in Gabriel Jesus from Man City. Arsenal also chasing Raphinha and have already signed creative midfielder Fabio Vieira from Porto, who I think we should train to be able to play as an 8. But that doesn't mean that with 10 weeks of the summer window to go, that Arsenal will not resume and act upon their interest when they weigh up their position before the September 1st deadline. In the final months of last season, they sounded out Tielemans' advisors over a move to the Emirates Stadium. He is greatly admired by Mikel Arteta. There is certainly mutual interest between these two parties. It's possible Arsenal's recent cooling of their interest could merely be an interlude. For starters, they will feel they're in a strong position regarding the player without any notable competition for Tielemans' signatures. These things change at the drop of a hat. You know, other clubs that might be looking at other centre mids might not get them and say, we'll look at Tielemans. They're currently in a one-horse race. The string of Champions League suitors Tielemans hoped for have not declared themselves yet. Therefore, there is no need for Arsenal to rush in. With only a year left on his contract, Leicester know they are in a weakened position, but will try to hold out for the best price they can, although they are unlikely to recoup the 32 million they paid Monaco for his services in 2019. A figure of 25 million has been speculated, but Arsenal may feel that the longer they drag the situation out, the more likely Leicester will be to accept less than as they look to carry out their own transfer plans ahead of the new season. Arsenal took a similar approach last season in the pursuits of Ramsdale and ODEGAARD, as you can see here. Leicester's determination to hold out for 30 million for Drinkwater, I mean, it's given an example there. Don't think that's that. From a business perspective, it wouldn't make much sense to hold on to Tielemans and let him leave for free next summer, as we know. Apparently, a 1-year extension is off the table. If Arsenal do land Jesus from Champion City for a reported fee of around 50 million, that would take their spending for the summer already past 80 million mark, following obviously Vieira. And obviously, it's more than likely someone may have to leave to create a space for Tielemans. Xhaka was subject to interest from Roma last summer. They signed Nemanja Matic. I don't know if that impacts Granit Xhaka leaving, because you have heard Roma, you have heard Bayern Leverkusen. So we'll have to see. So it's basically saying we might have to see someone something happening. I mean, 30 odd million, 25, 30 odd million. I think that's a fair price for Tielemans, really. If I'm completely honest with you guys, I don't know that though. You know, for me, I think that's a fair price. If I'm completely honest, sorry, I need to share my screen again. Tielemans would bring goals, assists, and allow us to be more comfortable in possession. Get him in. Do you think Nuno Tavares should turn into a winger? If he does that, he can't play at the top level for me. Ainsley Maitland-Niles better than Xhaka alongside Partey. Lies. You're lying, King. You're my guy, but you're lying. You know damn well Ainsley Maitland-Niles not better than Xhaka there. You get it. He's icy free. We want the man to play his Haaland, but nah, Xhaka. Not to talk up Xhaka and not to belittle Ainsley Maitland-Niles. What midfielder are you? You know Xhaka's a deep line playmaker, even if he has played a more advanced role last season. What is Ainsley Maitland-Niles specifically in midfield? Ainsley's passing range is not that of Xhaka's. Short and long range. His positioning isn't. He's not as proactive. You know, he might not be as hot-headed, but yeah, man, I think that's a lie, man. I can't lie to you. Xhaka's a better centre mid than Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I would rather give Ainsley some chances if it was going to be that, but we're at where we're at. 268 likes, 600 of you tuned in. If you want Arsenal to sign Raphinha and Jesus, then get up the likes, people. Arsenal not signing anyone unless you obviously do that. If you're a pagan and you don't want Arsenal to sign anyone, hit the like button. Unexpected high bills pending for those who haven't supported the team. What's going on? Bring up his comment. Tielemans is a big deal to our midfield. We require a quality number 8. K, I hope you're doing better, broski. Basuma and Partey in midfield is dead. I don't think it's a dead option to have, but week in, week out, nah. Ain't no one trying to see that really in our hearts, really and truly. Ain't gonna cap. Xhaka's best attribute is being very aggressive. DG, I'm thinking you don't buy Raphinha for 65 million to play anywhere but on the right. Not really. Play wherever, really. You know, I know we're not City. They spent 100 million on Grealish. You play wherever. You know, and it helps everyone. We need to, for me, be in a position where we can swap them. Ainsley can mash work at right back. You know, man, we're gassing up his performance against Newcastle. And Watford and them thing there. Like, let's be honest. We got to be honest. We got to be honest. Ainsley, what midfielder are you? You didn't even do much at West Brom. That's where I think Ainsley probably needs to depart. Go somewhere where it's not just you might go on loan, you might leave. Somewhere that you're going to be for a couple of years, develop, discover yourself as a footballer. Am I a right back able to play midfield? Am I a midfielder able to play fullback? He could have been a squad option for us and things like that in another world. But, you know, this is the way the cookies crumbled. And unfortunately, I'll always fight and advocate for the Haalanders. I would love for him to be here, but it's a myth, man. It's a myth. It's a myth. We knew we weren't chasing a defensive midfielder this summer. Apparently, Raphinha is this summer's hottest property. Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea are all embroiled in a three-way battle. I can't lie. I think this is just somebody's opinion, so forget all of that. Allegedly, Chelsea plan bid for Raphinha after Arsenal's failed offer. So the only real winners here are Leeds. If you've got Barca, Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea fighting, it's Barcelona. You know, they appear broke, and it seems Dembele, is he staying, he going, is he going, he's staying. We'll see what happens there. Apparently, his second choice technically is obviously Chelsea, and unless Chelsea are going to play in wing back, it is what it is. So yeah, Tottenham apparently have made an approach. Arsenal have made a bid. Chelsea are preparing an offer. So we'll have to see, really, really and truly. Allegedly, David Ornstein claims Mikel Arteta is a huge fan. Apparently, we had initial offer rejected by Leeds United. It fell well below their valuation. There's rumours that was 40 million, people. But Arsenal's interest remains strong, and he is a player that Mikel Arteta wants to sign. It may be another one that takes a lot of time, and it will not be easy, especially because of the competition from the likes of Spurs and Chelsea. His long-held desire, or most likely destination, the team he was most heavily linked with, was Barcelona. If they can get their act together financially, they may have the money afterward to do that deal. I mean, are they really going to sign Di Maria, retain Dembele, and get Raphinha? I mean, they probably need it. They can do 2 of the 3. And Barca are broke and rich, according to the day. Apparently, they found 40-odd million to bid for Lewandowski. So we'll have to see what happens in the race for him, people. Allegedly, though, a journalist has said Leeds have received a 70 million euros bid from an unnamed club for Raphinha, and apparently it's Arsenal. Surely, I don't really believe that, because ain't that what Leeds want? It's probably too much for Raphinha, 65, 70 million or pounds/euros. So surely that would mean medicals and fees and personal terms and all of that. He shares the same agency with Fabio Vieira. So we probably have, while we might not have agreed personal terms if this does happen, we probably have a vague idea of what he would be looking 25 years of age. You should be looking at a 4 or 5 year deal. I would say in the present day, I'd be looking at a 4-year deal if I was Raphinha with an option of a 5th, purely because at 29, that would leave your contract running down. You're either going to negotiate a better deal at Arsenal, easier to negotiate and exit and have one more adventure, or run down your deal with what you're seeing in the current day and become a free agent. Leeds have reportedly received an offer from an unnamed club that is not Barcelona, worth 55 million euros plus 15 million in add-ons for Raphinha. As you know, that's only good for Leeds. It's probably worse, people. Arsenal are believed to be the only club to have made an approach for Raphinha. However, the offer in question was swiftly rejected by Leeds for being well below their asking price. And now there are rumours that Leeds have received a fresh bid, this time from an unnamed club. Mondo Deportivo, this guy wants to move to Spain. The Spanish club wants him. A Spanish club is reporting that there's offers from an unnamed club on a player. Bit fishy, isn't it, people? But allegedly, this report allegedly told his Twitter followers on Thursday that the club had received a 55 million euros, 47.2 plus 15 million in brackets, 12.8 in variables offer for the 25-year-old Brazilian. He did not name. Apparently, a fellow journalist replied in Spanish, "It's from Arsenal." Maybe that's banter. You know, Arsenal fans are gagging pause for some sort of excitement, so we'll have to see. Apparently, Leeds United are eyeing up Cody Gakpo and a number of others. Maybe Leeds are telling potential clubs, let us get a replacement and then we'll keep it moving. I don't know. But this reiterates it. According to Gabriel Sanz, a reporter in Spain, an unnamed club have tabled a bid for Raphinha. Claims is 70 million. Is being considered by Leeds. We've had our bid rejected on Tuesday night. We're expected to return with a higher bid. So we'll see how that one develops, people. Tottenham have dropped out the race for Gabriel Jesus, by the way, for what it's worth. There you see it again, people. There's claims that we've offered that. If we did offer that, we'd have our man, wouldn't we? So I don't believe that. Leeds' patience has run out. Jesse March side of clear roadmap for the player. Once again, Barcelona allegedly have informed Deco that they will now try to sign Raphinha after JOAO Laporte, the president of Barca, met with the star. So again, we're just being taken around the houses consistently. Allegedly, Raphinha would prefer a move to Barcelona, but also favours a swift conclusion rather than extended uncertainty. And the delay has encouraged 3 Premier League teams, Chelsea, Spurs, and save the best till last, Arsenal, to try to steal the initiative, people. If Arsenal have bid 65 to 70 million euros and it's turned down, at least the club have learned early enough in the window not to pursue him any further. Move on immediately for another target. Amen. Because by all means, go as aggressively as you want for Raphinha. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not a fan of the "we tried" hype. You need to make something else happen. You need to bring another guy to the carpet. It's literally as simple as that. If we can't get Raphinha, I would look at who's Hodgson today. Is that a footballer or is that influencer? Is he on Love Island or does he does the shoe fit on Foot Asylum's YouTube channel? Is that a footballer? Did Gabriel the centre back score more goals than him? I don't know Hodgson today. I don't know them, man. I don't know them fake star boys. I don't know them, man. But good luck for him, people. Arsenal continue their attempts to bolster a squad that became worryingly thin by the end of the season. Fabio Vieira's arrived once again. We're pursuing Gabriel Jesus and Raphinha. The latest we heard is that it's going to take the next 7 to 10 days in Gabriel Jesus' case. The battle to sign Raphinha drags. It's all love for Hodgson today, man. With Chelsea and Tottenham, just 2 clubs rivaling Arsenal for the signature. Once again, Barca are onto him, but that could all change should Dembele remain. This report claims that the Frenchman would prefer to stay at Barcelona, but there's some that say they want to renegotiate terms with Barca. Barca are saying it's a take it or leave it thing. So I don't know. Saliba's been, apparently the Marseille rumours have resurfaced. I don't think we're over the hill yet with him, but yeah, leave Rabiot alone. Not good enough. Decent player, very good technically, but not worth the baggage, really. We've got enough nonsense at this football club. Once again, allegedly Dembele wants to stay. I don't think we're getting Raphinha, but that's one for that. Bellerin is being linked with Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is attentive to Hector Bellerin and becomes a rival of Real Betis. Long story short, at Betis, they want Hector Bellerin and appropriate formulas are being studied so that the winger, I think that Google Translate means fullback, can be there next year. But it's clear that the side's good season has brought him back to the market and there are teams that have noticed him. Allegedly, Atletico Madrid have been interested in the player's situation and are maintaining contact with those around him, people. He's among the options Simeone is looking for, and apparently a priority of Simeone's is fullback. And he also has a number of players here who we've been linked with. Molina. I imagine Emerson Royal leaves Tottenham. They've been linked with Pablo Maffeo. He seems quite good at Mallorca. They've been linked with a bag of players, really. So apparently it is what it is. We know Bellerin does not want to continue at Arsenal, and we want to move him on. Got a year left on his deal. Is what it is. Raphinha or Richarlison, rather. Raphinha, if I'm honest with you. So it is what it is. Once again, Marseille have made an offer for Nuno Tavares, consisting of a loan deal with an option to buy. I mean, they're trying to finesse Arsenal. Are they trying to get him for a similar fee to Guendouzi and make a profit? I say dry loan and then assess the situation. If he somehow becomes a dramatically better player, then it's like a new signing. If not, loan him out again, turn that 8 million into 20 odd. And he's also drawn interest from Real Sociedad. So he's had interest from Atalanta in Italy, Spain in Sociedad, and obviously France. Would like to see him play in the Premier League. Fulham, do they need a left back or something? Or Nottingham Forest, you need a full back? Make something up in them sides there. But yeah, it is what it is, people. So we'll have to see what happens. Oh, shit, I don't know why this reserved. This is from last year. So yeah, that is not here. Someone must have trolled me. Apparently, and again, even if he did go to Marseille, or even Saliba, who's been linked with Marseille as well, apparently they're trying to get him permanently. Apparently, this doesn't surprise me because yesterday we heard Saliba's agents were having a meeting with Arsenal about a new deal. Fresh haircut, A1. My guy looks the part, is the part, plays the part. Pause. Fresh haircut. Look at the fade. That is fresh. Anyways. It wouldn't make sense, surely, because if Sao Paulo's considering his future, what if the next manager says, forget all these young players? We've been linked with Seko Fofana, people, PSG, Arsenal, and Newcastle in talks. Again, if you go on YouTube or go on Google or anywhere, you see that apparently PSG have accelerated talks. There's a couple of Lens boys that I think could be playing in the Prem. You've got, a couple of midfielders, really. The PSG loanee, Culamendo, should be in the Prem. Fofana's decent. I don't think we're getting him because his role is more similar to Partey's and Lukonga's. Even, a bit of a box-to-box sort of thing. And I don't think we're going to do that. So I just think our name's just being thrown in for no reason for the 27-year-old people. He's been a decent signing. And definitely I can't see us spending 30 to 40 million euros on him, people. So it is what it is. I could see where Newcastle and Arsenal are interested. Maybe Newcastle a bit more aggressively. But yeah, deluded, what happens to our midfield when Partey is injured? Boy, we either have to commit to being a more attacking side, playing all the more technical players, or El Nene and Lukonga step up. Let's see what rumours are being said here. So yeah, still the Hector Bellerin business, people. So yeah, it was from last. So yeah, last season Tavares had interest. Apparently, in the last couple of bits, Real Sociedad have made contact with Nuno Tavares. So yeah, that's good for them, really and truly. As we know, Arsenal in advanced talks to repay Vincent Kompany. Oh well, that's Daniel Ballard. I don't believe in the scum newspaper, but nonetheless, Arsenal is Arsenal. London rivals Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs is stunning transfer battle for trio Richarlison, Raphinha, and Jesus. Cap, I think the only one that all three are really fighting for is Raphinha. The other two are back. Well, Chelsea seem to be pursuing Sterling. Spurs backed off in the Jesus race, and we're doing this thing. Richarlison, I think it's more him and his advisors trying to get a move away from Everton. Although allegedly Chelsea's players want to see Richarlison at the carpet. I mean, clickbaiting things. Goodbye to Jordi Osei-Tutu, who's obviously going to continue his career in Germany. Manchester United have concerning race with Arsenal for Ajax defender Lisandro Martinez. What are these concerns? As we know, it's going to take about 30 million euros, 25.8 to sign him. United have not made an approach. Ajax are keen to keep him for another season and have now apparently set a 43 million pound asking price. According to Ornstein, we're keen on him, as we know. He's a player Arteta wants to sign. Arsenal have had an approach. Apparently, the problem is that United are focusing on Frankie de Jong. I thought there was an issue in this guy as a footballer, so we'll click off that. I hate this scum newspaper, but we'll go again. We've apparently got a verbal agreement with City for Jesus. In personal terms, we heard have been agreed for about 220,000 a week. Until things are confirmed from a legal point of view, then yeah. I mean, every journalist keeps saying for these players, Arteta is in love with Raphinha and in love with Jesus, and hopefully we really are extremely keen to do the deal. With this article just says what we know, that Jesus seems to be ticking over. We're interested in Raphinha, and we're still retaining interest in Tielemans. Leeds apparently are looking at Gakpo as a replacement. Arsenal have received a huge boost in their pursuit of Serge Gnabry. If a player doesn't want to decide for the club, then we can find a solution that makes everyone happy. I don't know what that means, but it is what it is. Don't know why we've been linked with Luka Jovic, but he's gone to Fiorentina. See how they found money for something. Higuain apparently opened up on his failed Arsenal transfer. Allegedly, Arsenal have reportedly agreed personal terms with Yuri Tielemans. So if we've agreed personal terms and we know it takes 25 million, maybe rising to about 30-ish to get it all done, then maybe that assumes why Arsenal, together with no alleged interest, maybe that's why Arsenal have left that on the back seat, and it's a case of when, not if. Lokonga apparently is going nowhere this summer. Saliba looks set to play a part in Arsenal's plans this season. So yeah, it is what it is where these are concerned people. Arsenal apparently have bidded 48 million for Raphinha. If reports from Spain are alleged to be believed, once again, there's that. Barca have made an offer for Lewandowski, so does that have ramifications for their pursuit of Raphinha or not pursuing him? I don't know. Arsenal squad wages. We need to shave the wages. Look at that. Pepe's second highest earner. Then, if this is to be believed, needs to go. Bellerin need to shave that. Leno, that's going to get shaved. If Xhaka leaves, that's shaved. Oh, Lord. You see, this is why when you sign duds, you know, Mr. Pablo, Marie, and Cedric, bro, moving them on is one thing. You've contracted them until 2024. They're on big boy P's, and I'm sure they're, well, where Cedric is, he's comfy here. Meaty. I mean, Odegaard's going to have to re-pattern up that contract as well. Torreira, need to move that on. Ainsley, boy, need to move that on. Holding, fair enough. I'm not going to draw a man out for earning a little 40 buff a week. There's nothing wrong with that. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see how these ones develop. We've already known about that. I think that's the same article. So with that, it appears that's the transfer news. In fact, why did the screen cut off? Circle the block again and see what happens. You lot keep your opinions coming. Don't feel any sort of way. Change that to the next out. What else is this? Oh, that's Daniel Ballard. What Arsenal-related news is there? JOAO Felix. Arsenal have been told they may have a better chance of landing JOAO Felix this summer due to the playing style. Allow it, man. Stop gassing us, man. Spurs have inquired about Cody Gakpo, so that's them versus Leeds. Bracy. And obviously Leeds are looking at a number of targets. Stop putting Arsenal's name with Rabiot. We don't need that. Chelsea have rejected approaches for Broja. I don't think that's anything to do with us. I mean, Gnabry, the advisor at Bayern has said we really want to keep him. I hope that he chooses Bayern. If a player doesn't want to decide for the club, then we can find a solution that makes everyone happy. So, I mean, if we could get Gnabry, which is dream chasing, why not? Once again, Marseille have allegedly made an offer there. Apparently, Catalonian outlet, this, whatever it is, believes Dembele is staying at Barcelona, which could have ramifications once again for Raphinha. So, boy, we'll have to see. So it's mainly just the same recycled stuff, people. Really. We've been linked with Dybala, who it seems like the Inter Milan thing is not banging at this moment in time. There was a time when Arsenal were at the forefront of the race to sign Dybala with Fabio Vieira, and that there's no need for Dybala. Quality player, by all means. If he signs, bring him. But it's just a signing that I'm going to be gassed about. You know, we're going to talk about, and then once the gloss of the shiny new toy wears off, like, and we ask what we're doing here, we're all going to be, you know, looking at each other all funny. 291 likes, people. Appreciative to you lot. Keep running that up. Pardon me, you lot are doing fantastical. So, yeah, man, apparently this has said that Arsenal were the most foreign club that sought the ball most inconsistently, but everything collapsed with the failure to qualify for the Champions League. Arsenal were even a welcome destination for the Argentine. Don't know if I believe that. It's a bit like the Alpha Melo links now at this moment in time. Don't appear that there's anything there. So, yeah. I think that's the transfer news. What are you lot saying, people? Sorry for airing you lot. I think that's the transfer news done. What about the Sanchez rumor? I don't know. I didn't see that. Can Spurs stop pursuing only players I like? Boy, Felix is a different type of myth, not going to lie. Runnelson's still on the wages. This guy's actually invisible. I think we need a backup for Tomiyasu, boy. It's probably at my best now is Ben White just has to fill in, or it's more of the Cedric stuff. Kind of late, but hopefully DG stays on for 2 more hours. Hey, I'll be live at 2 p.m. with FK from the latte firm. That's going to be on Twitch, and I'll be staying on until whenever, and then 4:15 we'll be doing What we doing? Euros watching them. What about Raphinha or Gnabry? Because I think their price is about the same. I don't think it is. To me, I feel Raphinha because he's proved himself, but Gnabry tried and failed. What do you think? I don't think Gnabry failed. He's an FA Cup winner. People really underestimate his impact in 2014. And, you know, he's a Champions League winner. He's at Bayern Munich. I don't think he's failed at anything. And I don't think it's going to be the similar fee. One's got 2 years to run on their deal. Leeds are in a strong negotiating position. In general, in terms of Gnabry, Bayern are in a position of weakness with him and Lewandowski because both are busting out for free. Who do you think? Good work, DG. I think it'd be Odegaard. I'd go for Tierney or Ramsdale. Indirect choice, Gabriel. I'm not against Odegaard having it. I just think we need more of a conventional captain and not what we've been doing. We need a lot. I hope this 65 for Raphinha doesn't mean we'll cut corners in other areas. Hudson-Odoi needs to go back to college. That's not nice. People take the P, but he would be our second best winger behind Saka. There's a reason why Bayern wanted him. I know all my hopes will end in heartbreak. If we can't get Raphinha, I suggest bringing Gnabry home. We'd love that, man. You know what will be the problem for us? Not Leeds, but Raphinha. If he still wants Barca, we won't get him. Our challenge is to convince him to join Arsenal. I think, listen, if we, you know, there must, I hate to be the guy, but if we have bidded for Raphinha, there has to be some level of encouragement for Raphinha and those around him that maybe we're not his first choice, second choice, or maybe even his third, fourth, but there's got to be an effort. What I would say is there's only so much convincing. Make your pitch. If the player wants to sign, he wants to sign. If not, that's the territory we're in. Move on, really. And at the same time, what fee becomes too much for Raphinha? 70 million is around 70 million euros is around the 60 million pounds, which is Leeds' valuation. So that's why I don't buy it, because surely, you know, we'd hear medical or fee agreed. We'd see something more tangible, really. It just seems like a game of charades, really and truly. That Con Marble Halls guy on Twitter is saying Arsenal and Leeds intermediaries are currently in direct negotiations on fees and payment structure. I mean, I don't think he's any in the know, but he seems fairly knowledgeable. You know, not to sing anyone's praises, because I don't know no one, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's see exactly what it is. Apparently, Thomas Tuchel's been promised 6 signings. Here it is. Let's see what this is saying specifically. Arsenal and Leeds are now in direct negotiations regarding the transfer of Raphinha. Intermediaries from both clubs are in London to try find some middle ground on fees and payment structures. As mentioned before, personal terms, no issue with the player. This follows a previous tweet. Arsenal have submitted a bid of 46 million total package for Leeds Brazilian winger Raphinha. Sources close to Leeds inform me it's likely to be rejected. However, shows deal increasingly likely to happen, with Leeds happy to do business. Leeds to Arsenal. Let's make a link up, man. We got that Pepe there, the Reece Nelson, the Ainsleys, the Lenos. We got something. Leeds, we got stuff for you, man. We gave you Sam Greenwood as well. You know, big up Sam Greenwood. Go and check out the interviews I did a few years ago with him, Amari Hutchinson, Charlie Patino, etc., etc. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel. I've tried to get, not these lot, but I've tried to get some interviews going. It's proven quite hard, people. I think I've given up in that regards, if I'm honest with you. I have to wait a couple more years. But yeah, if this is true, then why not, people? Apparently, latest info this Don's received is Chelsea will not pay 60 million to Leeds. Player doesn't want to go to Tottenham. Ross, ain't you, man? Conte hype Champions League drip. Damn. Anyways, what I'm told is the only offers for him are from Arsenal. Barcelona well out the race. Pretty confident this one gets done. Clubs now talking regarding fee and payment. Listen, I don't believe no one. I don't even believe myself. I don't even trust my own shadow. So until he's holding shirts and that, take with a degree of salt. But your imagination can't help but get aroused for shit like this from a footballing perspective. Apparently, he's also said Pablo Mari is close to going to Italy. But hey, Pablo Mari, you sure? Lukaku's back, you know. He's going to get his highlights. Once again, allegedly yesterday, Saliba's agent, Distoni, is saying, was at Sopwell House to discuss a new contract for Saliba. Arsenal are willing to sell Nelson this summer with 2 German clubs and Italian club keen. Boy, off the back of a half-decent season in final, I can't lie. I don't want Reece Nelson to go, but I'm living a fantasy if I expect Raphinha and all these guys to land, and then what? I'd give him a next chance. A 2-year extension with an option of a third. Let him stay at Feyenoord, you know. If Eddie Nketiah can do it, he can do it as well. Obviously, Smith Rowe took a while to get going. You know, not everyone did the Saka thing. Give Nelson a next chance, but there's romance. Maybe, you know, sell him. No chance Raphinha goes to Chelsea. They have so many wide players. Apparently, Ziyech is going, and Pulisic might leave as well. So I don't know, but there was rumors they want to play him as a wing back, which is crazy. DJ, I didn't know you knew Malcolm Aboe. You could have put in a word in for us. He shagged us. I don't know him. Who said I know him? Oh, Malcolm. Oh, big up Malcolm now playing. He's a cool guy, man. And shout out to Malcolm, man, because he was one of the, like with Amari and Patino and Kion Edwards and all these guys, he's one of the first guys to take in the youth content that I was doing and stuff, man. I got a lot of time for these young players. And he's going Palace. That's a good look. Osimhen or Raphinha, apples and oranges, my bro. We need a striker. Osimhen strikes me as someone hungry for goals, so I would have said that. But Brazilian bias, Skillers bias, Raphinha. Yeah, Raphinha's linked with us this week. If the Raphinha links go away and we're linked with Osimhen a bit more, then my opinion probably going to change, bro. I can't even lie to you. Off topic, people, we've hit 300 likes. In fact, 322. Can we get to 400? But first things first, thank you very much. Don't forget, people, what's the time now? It's not even 1 o'clock, 12:54 in the UK. Obviously, I'm going to be live at 2 p.m. on Twitch. It will be re-uploaded onto YouTube. We'll be talking Arsenal more, so make sure you're following and subscribing if you don't want to get zanged. Love for the super chat. Sorry, I'll get into it. Raphinha's low-key over here. Of course. If man is saying 65 or 70 million euros, of course he's there gassing it. Love for the super chat, AJ. Fans over years have stated we aren't aggressive enough in the market, in the windows better yet, and just spend the money. Now they're giving out. We are overspending, bro. You can never please fans, bro. But I appreciate the super chat. You're right, man. Love for the other super chat. Champions League football ain't a concern for Raphinha. He left Rennes, played at Sporting, so he left European football for a relegation battle. Money talks. Big up DG. JR, fantastic point. Money talks. Again, it's a Brazilian thing. If we're cool with his agents, I don't only get gassed because I've seen this happen before, man. But if we did get Raphinha, I'd be excited because with Jesus, it tells me the first thing, we're not doing that typical Arsenal thing of, we need to sell before we can buy. Don't get it twisted. We need to get rid of players. And it seems like, I don't know, would you say it's a buyer's market or a seller's market? Because it does feel in many ways it's a seller's market and you see whatever, but you see it's a buyer's market. But it seems like half the teams need to get rid of players. Spurs been linked with a bagger man. They're going to have to sell a couple, Arsenal, we're going to have to sell a couple, Bellerin, Terrera, half of these guys, we talk about saved wages of Aubameyang. And how much saved wages if you get half of these dons out, really? So there will come a time, but it tells me that it must be impacted, but it's not exactly correlated. So let's see what happens, really. That's why and I didn't expect us to go for another winger. Maybe with Eddie Nketiah staying, that shifted the focus from grabbing another striker. But who knows, man? I'm here for it anyways. Love for the super chats. DG, what should we do about Tierney if we get Lissandro? Tierney keeps doing Tierney things, but if he gets injured, there's somebody 30 there, isn't it? Alleged. Yeah, we spoke about Bellerin. He's been linked to Atletico Madrid. Hopefully, Simeone is stupid enough to do that. We did a lot of selling in Jan, so it seems like outgoings aren't as pressing as they usually are in windows. That's true, but we got beer elephants in the room. Terrera, Bellerin, Leno, Nelson, the 2023-24 contracts. And again, a big part, what would make me gassed about this summer is obviously addressing the areas we need to address. Jesus, Raphinha, Tielemans, Martinez being able to play left back and whatever, but also retaining players. Martinelli, Saliba, Saka, them deals need to be getting done. Until these rumours in terms of incomers became a bit aggressive, you heard our transfer budget, a bit of it was factored in the renewals of these players. So how many of these players need to be moved on before we can commit to that? And that's obviously the elephant in the room of Nicolas Pepe, where whether it's Arsenal or Pepe and his advisors, that situation is going to have to change, really. If somehow Pepe could bless the beef and you have a reality of Smith Rowe out wide, Martinelli able to play there, Saka, Raphinha and Pepe, then it'd be a bit bloated, but it'd make the squad stronger. But that's probably a fallacy. So there's several areas that need to be addressed. But again, we're very early in the market. It seems like the market started well, but we've got until September the 1st. There's nothing delay yet. I hope we don't terminate any deals as well. I don't think we spend 40 plus on Lissandro just to be a backup. But I don't think he's rubbing out Tierney. So both of you fight for the spot, innit? I don't mind overspending too if the actual holes in the squad were actually filled. I really just want a random upfront striker from the Brasilia Serie A for backup. Keep the Brazilian hype going. Scouts do your jobs. Can't rate a man that don't want to mix it with the best. Let him go Arsenal. It's his level. To be fair, Riley, I was with you until I realized you're a Spud fan. You know, you never did it. You never did it. I'll take all the banter from United supporters. From Spurs, never. I'll take it from United because they've been there, done it, wore the t-shirt. Liverpool the same. City now the same. All of them clubs, but you've never did it. Potential hype. You've never did it. It's all blessed though. You're one of my favorite spuds, but remember what you man are. We're has-beens. You lot have never been has-beens. I'd rather be a millionaire and lose it than to never have been in the finest, you know, the finest bars and all of those things. In fact, I'm capping. I wouldn't want to lose it all, man. I'd end up crying still. Con Marble Halls, hype trust. I would say Spence would be best suited, but I think that's too late. He's going Spurs, and what a signing that would be for them. DG, if it's possible, could you do a comparison between Raphinha and Gnabry? Great show as always. I mean, they're both able to play out wide. You know, I'd prefer Gnabry on the left for me. I think he prefers on the right. I think Gnabry is more adaptable than Raphinha in a sense of maybe Raphinha can play as a 10, but I remember vividly Gnabry playing as a 10, can play as a false 9, can play on the left and the right. I do think Gnabry is going to ask for more wages and sell-on clauses and all those sort of things there, if I'm honest. Just bidding hype. Is Tielemans still coming? I hope so. I hope so, bro. But pause, of course. I don't know, though. Trust. How many Prems now? How many Prems at your ground? That's calm. You finished third in a 2-horse title race. I've seen Leicester win it. I can't take it from you. You can banter us about right now. You finished ahead of us for 6 years. Only got 20 plus more to go. And I do want our special day to happen, but it's all banter. But yeah, I don't know. Like Spurs are being hyped for hype. Generally, you lot are hyped for hype's sake. Don't get twisted. Conte factor, got some lit players, stadium and all of that. But what have you did? What have you done? You win FA Cup. I'm going to say it's only FA Cup. United and Thing, you've done it. You know, you win the League Cup. You know you ain't winning Champions League. So the agenda just shifts. I'll take it, but remember, you man are robbed. I lie, bro. You man are praised for things that we're crucified for. There's levels. You've never did it. Take our captain and win the league at your ground. Because I remember that. Listen, I'm only 27. I remember being called a glory hunter for supporting Arsenal. Anyone called anyone Spurs glory hunter? Milk Cup hype. The flipping legend Jamie O'Hara is always giving it the biggin on Talk Shite. Shout my guy Dale. One of my best mates is a Spurs fan. He's crazy enough to listen to Talk Shite week in, week out. Somebody said that what Charles Watts is talking about the Saliba contract stuff, but where is it? If it's on his own YouTube vid, then on Twitch we'll get into that, people, because we can actually just watch that. And Riley, you was there on my Football Manager hype. I don't want to hear that from you. You know what my team did to Spurs in Football Manager. You saw what we did. Pardon me. Apparently, Matt Law's latest article on Chelsea targets this summer, they've said a top-class strikers at premium. Chelsea have identified Sterling, Dembele, Richarlison, and Gabriel Jesus. There's been no mention of Raphinha. That doesn't mean they're not going for him. Slow news there. I can't lie. I do want Arsenal to get linked with someone different, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, link us with some random nobodies now, man. We keep getting linked with the same duns. Trust. How many Prem goals would you be expecting from Eddie and Gab Jesus next season, bro? If Gab Jesus, 15 to 20. I want 10 to 15 from Eddie and Ketia. 10, the absolute minimum if you're second fiddle choice. And then the young wingers or the Martinellis, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas and that. I want 10 Premier League goals. You should, Odegaard the same. You should be eyeing up 10 goals, 10 assists. That should be the benchmark we should be aiming to achieve. Obviously, you have to discount what you're going to do in terms of game time, etc., etc. But yeah, man. I know Spence's parents. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. If you know his parents, why aren't you his advisors, bro? Should be getting money, blood. Or go and chat to him to get that DG interview on the DG Nation show, man. What do you mean? Go and give his mom my number. That sounded so mad. You know, but we did a lot of... Oh, sorry, we see that already. DG, what happened to Jonathan David talk? Just because you said that, I was reading an article about Jonathan David today. I didn't think it was relevant to Arsenal per se, but The Athletic did an article where they were speaking about him. And to be honest, Arsenal been scouting him from his days at Gent. He could have been a decent second choice option. I don't think anyone in their heart really believes in Jonathan David at this moment. You know, a year's a funny thing. He might become lit, but right now, he don't look like the guy. I'll be real. Like, I swear he's got 2 goals in at the end of the season in 2022. He only bagged twice. I think his general plays improved, but he's too reactive. He doesn't do enough when you're not scoring. You know, he drops into midfield, but I just don't think he's levels really. Where the hell is that? Jonathan David Athletic. Sorry, I've started, so I ain't gonna stop. We're trying to find that. I was reading it today. Where is it gone? Jonathan David. Here you go. Just to humor you. Shout out to you. Just literally to humor you. Scrolling all the way down, it spoke about Arsenal. There has been reports of David potentially moving to the North London side for some time now, and there was some sense to a deal. And bearing in mind him and his advisors at the turn of the year last year, they were talking about moving on this season. For some time now, there's some sense to a deal. You could make a case that playing for a club as scrutinized as Arsenal would not only boost his profile for the future, but harden him ahead of the World Cup. But there appears to be more pressing priorities for Arsenal up top. Adding Fabio Vieira on Tuesday means they now have someone who can play as a second striker. Although it's worth noting that it's not a setup Mikel Arteta uses regularly. Not exactly a tick in David's favour. Then there's the pursuit of Gabriel Jesus, which had been the priority earlier this month. Would landing Jesus close the door on Jonathan David? James McNicholas allegedly said, based on my initial limited exposure, he appears to be a really interesting player who has added goal scoring to his excellent work rate. But Arsenal have decided he isn't for them. He's been linked with United. He's been linked with Chelsea. And it is a strikers market where strikers are at a premium. You never know. As I said, Darwin Núñez was rubbish at Almeria on the face of it. Went for 100 million this summer. So a year can change things. But yeah, I don't know about that really. I'm sure Leo are happy to sell as well. But I don't know about that one. Do you rate Chicken? I'm checking out. It's all right. People just act like it's a crime to say it's meaty, man. People is a national treasure and that shout Chicken, but it's all right. It's all right. Defo had worse. Fuck with it, but hype. It's a hype. It's a hype. While we wait on Tielemans still, I don't know, man. Cedric can swap with Spence. Come on. Any news on Raphinha? We've been chatting about that. He's the truth, man. He's my Adeyemi. Been watching him for time at Benfica. Everyone thought he was the next thing. Then Simeone came with his terrorist football away. So he can't play. So he can't ball out. Free him and you'll see. Morning, DG. Big up the nation. I personally believe that Raphinha and a decent team would get at least 15, 20 goal contributions in the league. Bring that. Get that done. Get that done, man. I think we're all wondering, my guy, who is going to be the next captain and all those things for Arsenal Football Club. My guess, if I had to, is probably going to be Martin Odegaard. Just based on what we see and what you hear and all these sort of things, I think it's going to end up being him. 358 in terms of likes. Appreciative to everyone who's hit the like button. Even I've given up on the hour thing now. I mean, if we can bring hour to the carpet, bring it. But even I've given up on that. Leeds setting up a Raphinha trade reviews could be a masterstroke. Pepe and another man could give them some squad depth. The problem is Arsenal are not going to get out of this Pepe thing without holding an extreme L. I'm not even talking about the price tag or the potential. If he hit all the variables, the price tag, that's the L. You're not going to get out of it because I can't see us getting 20 million, 25 million, and then paying him the same wages. Arsenal are going to have to supplement some of his wages. Maybe, obviously, in theory, paying 50% of that of 140 odd K is better than paying 100%. Or you're going to send him on a dry loan where a year from now there's going to be an elephant in the room. What do we do with him? Obviously, hopefully, terminating contracts are not a thing. I don't see Leeds giving him them wages there, really and truly. It probably best, probably best to say, you know what, Leeds, have him for a year on loan. You hope that he could somewhat ball out for Leeds, and you hope that that could potentially maybe other club, maybe either comes back to Arsenal another player. I don't really believe that, or it tempts other clubs to take a punt on him, really, which is a fallacy, really. It's just an L. Do you think Raphinha will be here today? I don't know for that. Miguel Aziz should be going out on loan, man. Fuck is that? DG thoughts on Ben Foster as our number 3? Nope. If we want a flipping content creator, employ me, Arsenal Football Club. I'll be happy to do all of that. Nope. Come on. Imagine getting smacked up to Newcastle and Spurs away, and then Ben Foster's either playing and going up to Son. Oh my God, you fucking put a screamer in against me, or he's going and breading off the bench. Dead that. If I was a Watford fan, that would have peed me off. I do rate it though, what Ben Foster is doing from that perspective. But no. That's not for us. Nice guy hype. Dead. Come on, man. Salah's absolutely destroying him. And there's no shame in losing to Liverpool, but Salah's absolutely destroying him. And the first thing he's doing is running up to him. Oh, why did you put the penalty in that spot? Dead. In no reality should we do that, man. That's not a footballer again. Ben Foster's not good at all, blood. Leave that, man. 7 hour for 7 million. Wallahi, I want to see Alas crying for those stingy price tags from 2 summers ago. I hear that. Do you think Tusty will play? I don't think so. Hopefully it's a Bandulu thing. He goes on loan. And that's one that we might not even be talking about. But in a couple of years, unless he develops under the radar, we've made a humble profit. And said Ben Foster, you know. I'd rather Runnison now, cap. I took it too far. I was capping. That's one guy I'd rather. Unless Ben Foster wants to be the halftime announcer, unless he wants to do Arsenal in the community, no way should he be in Arsenal's change room. Do you stream FM? Yeah, I need to re-upload the cut-up clips onto YouTube. I'm quite behind in that. But I do stream on Twitch, which we did yesterday. Shout out to everyone who was on Twitch. You got to follow on that, mate. I keep telling you, not just saying this for the sake of it. Let me try it. That set up perfectly to go and get a link to my own channel. Don't forget, in 50 minutes, I go live, people. Again, that's going to be on Twitch and then re-uploaded. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think we are links with so many players. It's crazy. I mean, every club has just been linked with bare guys. Everyone's linked with everyone. Who they're actually going for is a different, complete matter. In all entirety, to be fair. Apparently, Dybala's not an option for Real Madrid. Gabriel Jesus is on holiday in Portugal with his missus. So again, it's going to take a while before we see any significant progress with his deal. I mean, all we need to see is fee agreed. That's all it. That's all I need to see, man. Just fee agreed. Happy birthday to Matt Turner. Speaking of goalkeepers, you know, the incoming second choice keeper, the American international. Hopefully he's lit. If he's not lit, then shot that, man. Please just shot that. Let me see what other Arsenal related news. They do need to lie to us about our next name now, man. We're talking about the same Raphinha, the same Gabazers, the same Lissandro Martinez, the same this and that. Link us with something else, man. Or better yet, sign some players. Better yet. Do you think Patino should go on loan? Maybe one to revisit in January, not right now. I would say if I was a Murray Hutchinson, Kiddo Taylor Hart, couple of them already gone on loan. Miguel Aziz, I wouldn't be trying to be at Arsenal next season. Personally. What is the market for Leno? It seemed like Fulham, but that one there is gone, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. It seemed like he was destined to go to Fulham. I don't know what's going on, really. I don't know what's going on with a lot of incomings and outgoings. It feels like the calm before the storm. We're not 100%. We're not getting our. That boat's gone, but there was a small chance. I'm part of the small minority. Still do it. Can't have too many playmakers, man. You can, but man said Raphinha might be a smokescreen for Neymar by God's grace. Did you see the Fabio Vieira welcome video? Edu even kind of got me gas talking about the history. Well, hey, I hear that, but as much as we need to know our history so we know where we're going, if you don't know your past, you can't know your present, you can't comprehend your present, and you don't know where you need to go in the future. But all I would say is forget that. You know, you're never going to be like Henry and these guys there, but make your own mark on the football club. Which I believe he can in his own way. I'm excited about Fabio Vieira. Not so much in the first 6 months to a year, provided he's developed well and improved physically. I think he could become a left-sided centre mid, and with that, then learn to play a couple of roles. No worries, George. Martinez or Raphinha? Who's Martinez? Forgive me if I'm not thinking. I don't know who Martinez is. Who's Martinez? I'm taking Raphinha. Really? Man, I'm talking about JOAO Felix. We're not spending 100 buff on him, man. And it'd be like signing the baller. JOAO Felix has the potential to be a difference maker. He's lit, but where is he going to fit in the lineup? You can always make exceptions for quality players. It seems like there's tangible rumours for us wanting a winger. We were linked with Gakpo. We asked Bowen's agents. And right now, it's all Raphinha. It's probably going to change, but yeah, it's all Raphinha. Lisandro there as well. Oh, shit, Lisandro Martinez. I'm bugging out. Apologies. The two different players, Raphinha. I mean, I would like Anthony. Anthony's lit. Milinkovic-Savic would be a shout. He'd be linked with Juventus. All right, happy birthday in advance, Roger, man, on behalf of everybody. Leno, Bellerin, Marie, Torreira all need to be sold. Balogun, I don't know who the guy in the middle is, but Balogun, Tavares, Pepe, Nelson to be loaned. That's 9 first-team players. You know, a lot of them could be bought or sold. I mean, Balogun, it goes without saying, Balogun, you're not going to have a future here for this year. You need to go alone. Injuries can happen, but Eddie's ahead of you. Jesus is ahead of you. Operation Martinelli's there. You know, it's a myth. Go and play games. Simple as that. Go out and play games. Simple as that, man. Go out and play games. Review your situation, man. I'm down to do a Joe Linton to Nketiah if it means we can do the JOAO Felix. We don't need a player that scored 8 goals in La Liga last season for 100 million. To be fair, if he joins a better team, you know, an offensive player in a crazy defensive team, he's probably improved defensively, and that might entice Mikel Arteta in theory because he can press and be the false 9 and all that. But you're not going to score the goals that you need to or really thrive and be the attacker you need to. And that one there is done because apparently Pep Guardiola wants JOAO Felix at Man City. However, negotiating depends on the exits of Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling to open up space and balance fair play. Could you imagine if they got Haaland and JOAO Felix on top of what they've got already? Come on now. Forget about it all. Raphinha, sorry, I'm making a timestamp, people. JOAO Felix. So yeah, make of that what you will, folks. Boy, what's the time as well? 1:15. Personally, I'll go for Wijnaldum. Is Zinchenko better than Tierney as a left back? Not to me. Spurs trying to swap the Celso plus 70 million for Felix. Do you know what? I'd think Simeone will probably take that, you know. How many of Raphinha's goals were pens and free kicks last season? You're going to have to take that to the stats people, man. Pardon me, who would you go for as a winger if not for Raphinha, Gnabry? Pardon me. It's fake. It's absolute madness. Trust me, if we sign Richarlison, man said Richarlison, I'm getting hungry. Raphinha, a lot of man will be scared. For a long time, we have lacked tall, strong, quick players. I think we need a lot more than Raphinha to do this thing, but it is what it is, really. I'd love it, but I don't know, people. For the rumor 25 million each, really, we should be getting both Fabian Ruiz and Tielemans. Would love it, but it's probably a fallacy to expect Fabian Ruiz, Tielemans, Fabio Vieira, Thomas Partey, Mohamed El Nene, Lokonga, probably missing out someone. Obviously, you've got to keep the pathway for the young players in Patino and Aziz especially as well. So I'm not actually sure where we'd go with that. On that note, though, as I said, people, I'm back online at 2 p.m. I've got FK from the latte firm. We're going to speak. What are the questions I've got to ask him? Feel free to add any when we get there. He's got half an hour. Thoughts on the season last year, missing out on top 4. Where did it go wrong and right? His player of the season, underperformer of the season, underrated player of the season, what he's made of Arteta and Edu. What does he make of Arsenal's targets? What positions need strengthening? Going to ask him, obviously, on the injury issues surrounding Tomiyasu, Tierney, Partey. And obviously, we're going to speak outgoings and obviously incomings potentially with Tielemans, Jesus, Raphinha, Martinez, etc., etc. So it should be, he'll be online for half an hour. I'll keep going for a bit. And then 4:15, half an hour before kickoff. It's a quick turnaround. I'm going to have to get my other laptop, set it all up, and then we're going to do a watch along, people, for the under-19s. It's Italy versus France. So if you're not on Twitch, you're doing yourself a disservice. 381 likes. If you've hit the like button, God bless you lot, people. Most importantly, I hope everyone and their loved ones remains fit, healthy, and safe. Hope you've all had a progressive week in your personal and private lives. Appreciative for you lot tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed and hitting the like button, people. We're aggressively approaching 50,000. I want to do that before the end of the year. I can't lie, man. It feels impossible, but it feels doable at the same time. And it feels like it can be done. Most importantly, I appreciate you lot across Twitch and YouTube, tuned in day out, offering opinions, notify me when new news has emerged, offering questions, talking points, etc. So yeah, man, you lot stay blessed. If there's any news to talk about, you can count on live streams and content and all these things. Make sure you're checking, because videos will be coming out across both platforms. Most importantly, stay blessed, stay safe. God bless you all. Safe, folks. Safe.
There's always just that active red light, defending.
I think it's like